Alrighty, good morning everybody. It's Tuesday, July 25th of 2023. Let's go ahead and jump into our analysis here. I'm going to go back to yesterday, Monday, July 24th, and we're going to take a look at what we were doing here. Want to bring up the higher time frames to just show you guys. We were dealing with coming into the open yesterday. What did we have? We had up on the daily, off of the low of the day before. We were seeing, or off of the low of the current daily candle that was from yesterday, we were seeing a potential bullish divergence down there. It wasn't official. It was just starting to show its face a little bit. Then we had the 4 hour showing, and maybe I should, we have to zoom in, from the lows not only of the day before, or from the overnight session from the day before, we had bullish signals on the 4 hour, and on the hourly we had agreement from those two same lows. So everything was lining up yesterday for a bullish push. And so let's go over into the open here. So like I told you guys, I actually threw a trade on the pullback into VWAP, Holy Orange power level, 50% of the last week, and the scaffolding all showing up there. I actually got all my profit and took my final piece off 15 points above, just in front of the scaffolding level. So I got a beautiful trade out of it just before the market opened and took all my profit in the first couple minutes of the open, and that's the promise of using these levels and this analysis. So we got a push out of the open, beautiful hold right there, pull back into the FMA. If you were looking to be long, you could have got a very good low risk opportunity there. Unfortunately, it didn't go very much, and it came right to our scaffolding level. So it would have been a 5-point trade, still not too bad. And then, of course, they had to come up and retest the level. And again, shorting the scaffolding here would have taken less than 2 points of risk, and then you got this nice pullback. Now, interestingly enough, when you look at what happened here yesterday, for all intents and purposes, we basically skirted back and forth. Here you can see from our scaffolding down here, held it, popped, pulled back, and we pulled back off of, I think, Friday's 50% line. And then there's that hold there off the scaffolding that I just mentioned. And then we popped all the way up to the next scaffolding level and got a rejection, and then came down and retested the lower scaffolding level, bounced up, got rejection at 50% of the day before and our 200 moving average. And then once it got up through there, came right back and got rejections off the scaffolding level again. So it was back and forth between the scaffolding, and then we finally got a little bit of a breakout, right? It honestly looked like we were basically struggling, and then finally we got to new highs for the day there and broke out through the high of Friday, and then we pulled back to the end of the day. And interestingly enough, again, once we rejected from the high of Friday, came down, bounced just in front of VWAP, held the back end of the scaffolding again, and then held the 50% of the day before again. And then there's that hold off VWAP, bounce through VWAP, hold VWAP to the upside, and then at the end of the day basically closed right around our scaffolding level. So that's a beautiful little clinic on why we use those areas. Essentially the market traded right in between it, got a peek through, and then failed, and then closed right at it. So some pretty cool stuff yesterday, some really great holds. If you were looking to be a bull, this pullback to the scaffolding and the Holy Orange parallel and 50% of the day of the week before would have been a great opportunity. And if you missed that and you were seeing finally this breakout through the 200 and VWAP to come back up, you had all these opportunities off the 200 moving average, except for this one here, which it looked like it broke through by just about 2 points maybe. And then another opportunity here to buy and take it up to, the high of the day. So plenty of opportunity there. That brings us into this morning. And as you can see, we're still testing up into the high of the day before now. So this is now Monday's high we're testing, and we got a pretty healthy rejection so far. In the overnight session here, we've got beautiful, again, here you go again. We fell through the VWAP at the end of the day. This was on our Globex session yesterday afternoon. Held VWAP, and then it popped through, and then held VWAP to the tick here for 2 bounces, to come up. Now, the holy orange power level wasn't populated on the chart just yet because that was 3 a.m., so it wasn't there. Came back, held the FMA, popped, and then came and held the 200 in VWAP to pop up and come up to retest the high the day before there, right? And then it came in, tried to parry off the FMA, failed, and then parried right off of the 200 in VWAP again, and then fell down. And now here we are right now, failing back right below the VWAP here to come down. And we're coming right into a retracement level that we're going to talk about this morning. So that brings us into our higher time frames for today. So let's take a look at what the charts are saying for this morning.